Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the lower bracket semi-final. One match to decide who will move on to the lower bracket final and who will be eliminated, waiting for the beginning of season number 1. Which at the time that this video goes out should probably be about a week away, give or take. As we are heading in. On the left, on the defense in Spider Islands in this best of 5 here in the North American console matches for the Marvel Rivals Championship, we have Diki Suaves. And on the right, AFBS, who will be attacking. Wolverine and Hela banned out. Bruce Banner gonna be protected. How much research have AFBS done, knowing how much Diki Suaves do like to sneak in the magic and also the Wolverine from time to time. AFBS are going to be the ones to actually lock in that magic. Very interesting. Iron Man will get removed though, taking that away from Payload. Spiverson and Nash, both big magic players. Final ban for Diki Suaves. They're going to take away the Lunar Snow.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Going right in, Nash. And of course, Spiverson straight away onto the magic. The console players really locked in on the magic as this season came to an end. Payload on the Star-Lord here, whereas Blade Fan is going over to the Psylocke. Both teams, Mantis and Loki, classic combo, getting that soul rejuvenation is absolutely huge. Let's introduce the players and then we'll talk about the path they took to get here. On the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, it is going to be Diki Suaves. Ooh, a little bit of a swap around. We have Jogalol on the Star-Lord to give them that Guardians team up to help out to revive Venkum, who will be bringing out the Mantis. Nash is on the magic. Lopez Toashi will be bringing out the Incredible Hulk to team up with Josen G, who is on that Doctor Strange. And Payload also going to be teamed up with that Adam Warlock, will be bringing out the Star-Lord. On the right-hand side, on the attack, AFBS with Abduct playing Doctor Strange. Blade Fan on Psylocke. Rameshi on that Incredible Hulk. Has forced out a couple bans just purely against them throughout their game so far. Sia-chan on the Mantis. Zerg is playing the Loki, and Spiverson on that magic. So Diki Suaves locking in right away for that Guardians team up. Trying to send the poking harassment down the line for this first push area as Magic dives the backline. Good sleep, but Jokalol is still getting dove down pretty aggressively here. The healing is coming out though, so they are sustaining through this. Let's talk about the paths these teams took to get here. Diki Suaves started in the upper bracket. They 3-0'd Kage Summit before getting 3-1 by In and Out, the team that is currently in the upper bracket final. Being sent down here, Diki Suaves, as we saw yesterday, were then able to 3-1 against VBQ to find themselves here. AFBS, they started in the lower bracket. They 3-0'd Corsairs, got a bye versus Franchise, 3-1 Cold Harbor, and they got another bye versus Sinister Six. AFBS, despite being in the lower bracket, have had the best lineup to push on into this part of the bracket as possible. It also means they're the biggest mystery. The least amount of games from them have been seen, as Jokalol is trying to focus onto Urameshi, pushing on in. Blade Fan taken out, Urameshi sent down into Bruce Banner form, and chased all the way back as the Cosmic Cluster starts dealing the damage. Spiverson trying to get onto the backline. There's a little bit of a bug with the structure there as Spiverson is taken out. The players were not seeing this. It's just how the observer system works sometimes. It's a little bit of a bug. Nothing too serious. And again, it does not affect the players in any way. Sia-chan, Soul Resurgence with 2 members down, committing to try and dive back, take advantage of the fact that they've taken down Nash, gets Jokalol, and they are trying to push hard right now to take advantage of a little bit of space and give their team some room. Sleep to buy even more time, but Lopez Towashi does actually land into the setup. Galactic Legend from Payload to try and push on in. Hulk Smash for Urameshi. Payload trying to find any targets they can now. Blady Fan would be good, but they are taking cover. Going for the 1v1. Blaster Barrage. Map heal, and Payload not able to take the 1v1. Darkchild taking down Venkum for the second time as they cocoon themselves back in. Payload still here in this backline. Max range snipe from Spiverson. And AFBS are pushing through hard right now. Diki Suaves on the defense are getting zoned out. They're still going to try and hold this though as in comes the counter Darkchild. Stepping disc to dodge the Eye of Agamotto means that the push keeps coming in here. They've got that Soul Resurgence from Venkum there. Trying to hold the line. Not doing enough damage to burst through AFBS despite them holding on to the majority of their spawn ultimates. Finally going to be taking down Sia-chan, but down goes Nash as well as Spiverson gets the counter. Karmic Revival coming out. Jokerlol brings back multiple members, but they are cleaned up by Spiverson diving into the backline. Joseph G drops an Eye of Agamotto, giving Diki Suaves a little bit of extra time on the defense. Nash grabbing Abduct. Spiverson down. Urameshi sniped by Nash, and Diki Suaves hold with just 3 members remaining. AFBS going to be able to regroup up. They do not have access to Portal. So with 10 seconds left, they have to make their way in on foot. They should be able to touch unless something goes very wrong here. 4, 3, made it to the line. Now, can they stay alive? Can they hold this? Getting the heal as Cloak and Dagger has arrived here from Zerg to try and burst their way through. Dance of the Butterfly expires. Jokerlol was taken down but has Cocoon. Could try and revive here and probably should if they want to try and contest this. On the high ground. Trying to keep the team topped up. Diki Suaves are starting to fall here. Nash is down. Lopez Towashi will be able to get the Hulk Smash to buy time. Blade Fan goes down. Sia-chan, Soul Rejuvenation will expire here. They're giving everything they can. And right now it is down to Lopez to try and hold this, to try and delay. Indestructible Guard at the ready. Will use it. Keeps the team pushing through. The return of Payload to try and buy time. But now Urameshi is on the point, holding with their own Hulk Smash, and Eternal Bond from Zerg completely surrounds the cart, making it basically impossible for anyone to step on safely. Hulk running around Venkum, keeping them alive with that Soul Rejuvenation of their own. Locked down, stunned out. Nash returning from spawn. Lopez Towashi goes down. Venkum has Cocoon, could revive if they want to, but it is too late. They go back to spawn as point number 1 is grabbed by AFBS. An intense first push there, coming right down to the overtime, but AFBS are able to force their way through and will begin to make their way onto the central area, try to claim control and harass them as they try to get into defensive positions, try to bully Diki Suaves. AF Abduct, though, taken out aggressively here as Darkchild comes in to clean out the attackers. Nash going hard, trying to take out the strategist. Sia-chan will certainly fall. Once more, Psylocke sneaking away. Will fall though. Venkum able to pick that up. Trying to poke from range, not able to find it. Joseph G has that Eye of Agamotto, as does Abduct. Both going to be looking for the opportunity to strike once their whole team is grouped together, and they're going to be able to capitalize on that. Blade Fan almost with that Dance of the Butterfly as they return, using the team up from the Magic, and oh no. Unfortunate misplay with the portal, returning to a position where they were mid-air and falling off the side of the map. Nash takes out Spiverson, and Diki Suaves continue to hold. Jokerlol poking from range. Venkum keeping the team topped up. Payload, Galactic Legend at the ready. 1 minute to go. Keeping the sustain up. Payload taking out Blade Fan once again. Terracloak does not land. Here's Spiverson in the backline, trying to get onto those damage dealers, onto those strategists for the healing. But that is a soul bond from Jokerlol, allowing them to tank through, and they quickly turn around and pick off Spiverson with the help of Nash. Nash, literally the only player without an ultimate available for the side of Diki Suaves right now, and that is changing quickly as they're trying to build it up. Finds the dance of the butterfly into the backline. Blade Fan trying to take them down. Aya Magamoto was dropped, stuns out Sia-chan and Zerg. Both go down. Darkchild in the backline still trying to get onto Adam Warlock, who gets the Karmic Revival off but will fall. This fight now has to take place within this revive, which does get a triple revive. Joker Long reviving back with their own cocoon, keeping Diki Suaves in this fight. Pelo, Galactic Legend, gets one, almost hit by Hulk out the air, but is still doing huge damage to Spiverson and trying to keep their damage onto that backline. Blaster Barrage for the AoE to try and take him down, but it's forced off the point. Urameshi has been doing absolute incredible work to keep the tankiness going here and keep this push of AFBS alive, but they're so far away from the point right now. Indestructible Guard to try and hold. Lockdown, stuns, regeneration domain to try and hold this. Diki Suaves still have people on the point. Urameshi goes down. Zerg tries to delay it, but they can't get back to the point. Chased down by Magic. 1.46 meters for AFBS as Diki Suaves are able to hold. Solid performance by Diki Suaves. AFBS, they had moments there where they were just snowballing through. But as the game went on, Diki Suaves were able to lock in and turn that game completely on its head. Any hero swaps. Urameshi getting off of the Incredible Hulk will be moving on to the Groot here. They're going for hard defense here. Zerk swapping to the Loki. Regeneration domain gives you static defense. They're going to try and just hold the line this way. Blade Fan bringing out the Star-Lord, but thinking about a swap. I'd suggest someone like potentially a Namor. Nope, they're going for a Guardians team up themselves. More bodies on the point more often means the point stays still, and having those revives means that people stay on the point for longer. Gonna try and stick with that. Spiverson gonna be locking in, sticking with this Magic. The teams now incredibly similar, the only difference being Lopez Toashi sticking with that Incredible Hulk and Urameshi moving on to the Groot. Lopez Toashi spotted as they try and make their way up to the high ground, start to harass, wait for the opportunity to dive in. Not landing the jump, now immediately very much in the backline of the enemy team, forced to back away. Just short of landing the angle they want there. Trying to tackle that Star-Lord out of the air. This is the goal. Remove the vertical advantage so that they can fight on street level. Give the Magic the opportunity to make value. Give Nash people to hit with that sword. Stepping Disc to step up and push on through. Dueling pretty well right now, is winning the duel versus Spiverson. Playing the game of teleport chicken. Make sure that your teleports come after the opponents and you dodge their attacks. Diving into the backline, onto the strategist, trying to take out the Adam Warlock. Turning their attention onto Groot, takes them down. Back into the backline, the strategist, Soul Bond, basically completely shut down Nash here, but trying to buy time. No! Takes them down with the help of Josen G and the little demon for a little bit of extra damage. Soul Rejuvenation going to be coming out just to try and hold them on the point. Numbers advantage very heavily in favor of Diki Suaves right now as they try and break through this front line. Spiverson will fall. Dark Chard for Nash. Takes out one, but locked down as Urameshi with the straggling prison holds. Drops the wall to try and zone out reinforcements as Lopez is trying to chase onto Blade Fan, who's dropped low but tanks through. Lopez sniped with the Spore Bomb, will go down. Josen drops, and they even take down Joker Lol, who revives Karmic Revival to bring the team back and keep Diki Suaves on this attack right now. They've got 2 minutes to go. Lopez Toashi revives immediately back into that Hulk form. Urameshi tries to tank through, unable to do so, but Karmic Revival will bring them back. And AFBS hold the point. Zerg with the patience for that revive. able to bring their team back a little bit after and take them back into this fight. Spiverson dropped very low. Pulls back to their team to get the healing. Lopez Toashi once again on the high ground, trying to get onto those backlines. Focus down, going to be chased down by Spiverson, but there's the entire enemy team decides against it, so just going to poke. Joseph G has access to the portal if they need it, deciding against it for the moment as Payload takes to the sky. Galactic Legends dueling, taken down. Blade Fan timing theirs more effectively. That is a great Eye of Agamotto. Blade Fan getting a triple there. Onto Joseph G, driving them back. 1 minute to go. Remember, portal is available. Blaster Barrage, and we see Blade Fan barely escaping. AFBS holding very nicely here. There's still time. Joseph G not going to be using the portal. They have time if they get eliminated. So going to be patient. They have their own Eye of Agamotto here. They're waiting to make sure that the whole team is here. The wall has split the team in two. Indestructible Guard into the backline. Eye of Agamotto going to try and take out Sia-chan and will get them. But Joseph G is now quite isolated from the rest of the team. Magic coming in as a distraction. Takes out the Adam Warlock. They're holding the line for the moment. 20 seconds to go. Joseph G trying to get onto the Star-Lord, but Blade Fan will sneak away. Abduct goes down. The cart keeps moving. They've tried to block off the spawn. And point number one is grabbed by Diki Suaves. They now only have to get 46.84 meters in order to take this first game of the best of 5. Urameshi on this Hulk. This Groot, sorry. Making their way back as fast as they can. It's such a long walk. Abduct, locked down. Dark Child for Nash, because they're already at the point. 44.88 out of 46.84. And Nash is already cleaning up. Zerg has Karmic Revival. It needs to be dropped immediately, but it's too late. Wiped off the point with the magic. And Diki Suaves lock it in and are able to take game number 1 in this best of 5 lower bracket semi-final. Fantastic performance. Joseph G takes MVP there. 42 eliminations, 19 of which were final hits. 18k damage, which is the 3rd highest in the game. And 27k damage blocked, also the 3rd highest in the game. Solidly consistent across the board. Taken out the 2nd least amount of times in the game. The frontliners for Diki Suaves putting on a show here. 2 times for Lopez Toashi getting taken out. 6 for Joseph G. Half of the majority of the other team. 18 final hits for Spiverson as well. The Magics showing absolutely up here. But Joseph G, 42 eliminations, really showing up here. Top damage done. Going to be the 21k, 1k more than Nash. Spiverson able to snipe it, getting 1 more final hit as well. Putting in the work. Damage blocked, 34k. Abduct try to absorb as much damage as possible, absorbing almost 10k more damage than Lopez Toashi, but getting taken out more than 5 times more often. Almost twice as much as Joseph G. It's all good, well and good taking all that damage, but if you get taken out while taking it, you're not there for your team. Top healing, 23k for Venkum. And Zerg, though, 21k. There was a little bit of a Cloak and Dagger in there, so that definitely would affect that quite a bit. Jokerlol, 18k healing. Not bad at all. Sia-chan struggling to keep up in terms of healing numbers a little bit this time. But to be fair, their team was getting taken out very quickly. That's going to be game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, if you're enjoying, to like the video, leave a comment, saying hello that you enjoyed the video. That's why that person's saying hello on all my videos. There's someone who's leaving the word hello as a comment on every single one of my videos at this point. And it's probably because I say stuff like that. But let me know what your what your favorite plays are, who you're excited to see in Season 1 as we turn around. And, of course, if you're playing in Season 1, let me know your team and your region, and I will attempt to cast as many of my viewers as possible. So if you want your games cast, let me know. I will more than happily do so. I've got the open qualifiers just gives me so many options. So please, reach out. Let me know. And, of course, likes, comments, become a member to get access to videos early and support me directly. Turn off your ad block if you'd be so kind. Shout out to the people watching on TV, which is the majority of my viewers watch on TVs as opposed to on their computers or phones, which is a surprise to me. But shout out to the TV viewers. Enjoy your bed and or sofa. Or even armchair. Who knows? So please, continue to enjoy those games as I am going to get a setup for map number 2 in this lower bracket semi-final here in the North American Games for Console in the Marvel Rivals Championship.
It's tough.
Don't wanna test your luck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were have-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were have-nots, who are not as tough as me.
Diki Suaves currently sit at 1-0 in this best of 5 as we are heading to Hall of Djalia. AFBS needing to bring it back. Currently, Urameshi hovering the thorn. Remember, this is Season 0. This is pre-Mr. Fantastic and Sue's Storm Invisible Woman. So we're seeing this pre the buff to Thor, meaning his ultimate can be interrupted. Pre the nerf to Doctor Strange. And of course, pre the second patch that came out to all those hero changes as well. This is one of the main reasons we're not seeing any Storm at all. And of course, Know the Thing, which is definitely going to see play in Season 1 because it's really good to have an engage tank. Speaking of Vanguards, though, we're going to see that Bruce Banner, Incredible Hulk, protected by Diki Suaves, the magic for AFBS. Both teams seeming to be happy with how that went last time. Just going to lock it in again. AFBS. They bat out the Star-Lord. Taking that away, they were a little bit worried about how much damage they were taking. The trade-outs between those galactic legends. Diki Suaves. They banned the Psylocke. There was quite a few good flanks. Gonna see that taken away. Blade Fan, looking at Hawkeye. Remember, this is Season 1. Pre the Hawkeye and Hela nerfs. And Hela is banned now, but Hawkeye allowed through the ban phase and will be picked up here, at least for a bit, by Blade Fan, giving them a good range. And look who else snuck through the bans. Payload has the Iron Man, with the Hulk left open for them. Blade Fan's going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be up to Blade Fan, Zerk, and Sia-chan to try and deal with this Iron Man, as they are the ones with the best long-range capabilities. Payload going to be playing a little bit of dodgeball this time.
We'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Let's see if they're able to do it. Currently, they are sitting in some leaves. There we go. Back in. Pressure is on. Trying to climb up, utilizing the tail to get onto the Panther. No, double jump, has to use it. Diki Suaves, if they win this, they will be on match point. AFBS looking to even up the score. And here we go. Making their way out already. Couple shots from Mantis coming down, making sure that no one's going to interrupt this portal as they're going in right away. Abduct takes them into the building behind the opponents for the initial push here, giving Spiverson the chance to assault right off the bat here. Already finding Nash, trying to take him out. Unable to land the finishing blow though. Has the stepping disc to back away, but it's still getting some fantastic damage. Spiverson finally going to get focused down as their team has been taken out here. Unibeam, uncontested right now, absolutely melts through the remaining members. Knocked back by the Bruce, taken out, and that's going to be Diki Suaves holding once again. Payload heading out for the spawn here, trying to weaken people on the rollout. Force cooldowns. Maybe force a reconsideration of where to attack. Slow them down. Distract, annoy, be a menace. Superior Iron Man poking away, will dash away. No extremis to allow Iron Man to beautify their opponents. Instead, just going to have to absolutely boomify the opponents with the maximum pulse. Invisible pulse cannon taking out the backline, and they wipe out the front line. Going to stagger the elimination onto Urameshi in order to make sure that they are staggered for the rest of their team, making it harder for AFBS to push up. And there is still plenty of time before that portal comes back. Blade Fan brings out the Iron Man of their own. They're bringing it back. Going straight for the mirror match. Realizing that they're having trouble bringing it back. Battle of the Unibeams. Payload is empowered, but evasive maneuvers. Blade Fan trying to control the pace of this fight. Can't see. Payload has backed out around the corner and is currently dealing with the Incredible Hulk. As Blade Fan tries to get onto Jokerlol. Wrapping round to the other side as they're getting close to that Invincible Pulse Cannon. So an ambush might be the play. Finds Payload. Evasive maneuvers. Dips down below. Blade Fan tries to chase him. Won't find it as Zerk. Fate of both worlds. Giving the team the chance to try and hold the point and go for the turnaround play as Nash tried to intercept with the Dark Child to push on through. Invisible Pulse Cannon comes out, lands, but is absorbed. Damage output a little bit too high. Spiverson also on Dark Child, quickly frozen, but still has the shield doing the damage, trying to get onto those backlines, but needs to avoid Payload. Payload, Unibeam, focus down, the chase is on! Tries to finish them, but Payload gets out once again. The master of escapes is Payload. Joseph G chasing down the few remaining members of AFBS. 41 seconds left, one, maybe two pushes. Shield once again allowing Payload to escape. Blade Fan will get healed up. They will make it out as well. But with 30 seconds left, AFBS portal up to the high ground once again, looking to regroup to step up and make sure they touch at least for the overtime. Joseph G with the Eye of Agamotto at the ready. Maelstrom of madness to try and hold the front line to get rid of these reinforcements to keep the pressure on. Takes down the Lunar Snow with that. The healing output is severely nerfed. If they can get Mance as well, then there's going to be no extra sustain. It's up to Iron Man and Magic right now to hold. Holding the line. Invisible Pulse Cannon is right There, Blade Fan trying to get rid of the shield before they drop it. Dropped low, focus down, sends it straight down. Shield comes up, stunned out the air, removed from the point, meaning it's all down to Spiverson to try and break through. But the unbreakable guard gets taken out, but it protects just long enough to take out Spiverson, and the point is held.
Score is 0.
40% hold, meaning we just need
Time to switch things
2/3 capture for Diki Suaves, who are putting on an absolute clinic here.
top-notch team to win this one.
Diki Suaves could set themselves up for match point here, unless AFBS can do something to try and get this back. Looks like they're going to be sticking mostly with the same style, but they've abandoned the Hulk. Still sticking with Iron Man, but the Hulk has been ditched in exchange for a Magneto here. The Man of Iron and the Man of Magnets. Try and protect them that way with the extra sustain. Spiverson
30 seconds
not
will
yet
see
locking
which
in. I think they'll still go with the magic though, because it's one of the few saving graces of the team right now. Currently 4 and 4 with only one of them being a final hit.
I don't think you'll just
But it's causing enough of a distraction that it might still be worth it. And yes, Spiverson does in fact lock in. That is an Iron Fist for Payload. I don't think that'll be locked in,
The battle starts in 5,
but I'd be down to see it. Yep, there we go. I was about to say.
2, 1.
Oh, okay, portal. I was about to say, just hanging out in spawn. Is there going to be a counter portal? Nope, Abduct. Not going to be using it.
Focus on the battle.
Through the portal. Whoo, that was a little laggy. Pelo going for a wide wraparound here. Going to harass them from behind. Upgrade with the Unibeam, sending in the AoE shots as everyone's a little bit split up here. Knockback from Magneto, dropped down to 20, forced to retreat. Vegam trying to heal him up, but obviously hyper-mobile flyer instead turns the attention onto Blade Fan, chooses to heal instead of getting the final hit, and as such, Blade Fan will get out. Remember, they need to hold this 100%. AFBS, they can't afford to give up any percentage here. Nash taking out Zerk on the backline, and now Urameshi suffering a potentially similar fate, gets hit with the radioactive lockdown as the point charges, blocked on the last second, but no! Spiverson!
Final score.
Spiverson was the only person holding that from ticking over, but they stepping disc, removing themselves from the board for that split second and allow the capture. Diki Suaves extend their lead into a 2-0. Joseph G with yet another MVP there. 12 eliminations, 9 of which were final hits. Beautifully done. 10k damage, only being beaten by Abduct, while only getting eliminated once. Again, Lopez Toashi, 0. So hard to take off the board. Playing beautifully here. Let's look at the statistics here. Top eliminations, 15 for Pelo. Top final hits, 9 for Joseph G. Damage output, 8k for Pelo. Just outdoing Nash, barely. By just over 1,000. Damage blocked. Gonna be seeing 12k for Abduct, as we already mentioned. They will be taking that home there. Blade Fan getting SVP for their team, going 6 and 4. And top healing. 10k healing for Vengam. Keeping Pelo up, keeping the backline healed. They did suffer a little bit from just the flanking capabilities. You can see there, the backline has had a little bit of trouble. Nash, of course, was going in. They are very squishy, but Joker Lol and Vengam were both targeted in the backline for their team. Did get taken out quite a few times. But it didn't seem to matter. Seemed to be able to hold it. They did get taken out at half the rate of Siachan and Zerk. And with that, the lead is set for Diki Suaves. They are now 1 win away from moving on to that lower bracket final. Lower bracket final. A guaranteed third place if you can make it there. Guaranteed podium if they are just able to close this out. AFBS, though, they want this. If they lose here, 4th place, top 4, it's nice. But they want that top 3. They want that podium. They want 1st place. But in order to do that, they need to achieve the reverse sweep. Can they do it? Find out after this short break. Have a quick relax. Enjoy the ads if you have those on. Hopefully they're good and not trying to sell you weird courses. Let's get ourselves set up for match number 3.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement.
And we are back. Royal Palace. A perfect place to crown a lower bracket finalist if Diki Suaves are able to close this out. But also the perfect place for a coup where AFBS could be able to assail the top of the mountain and take down Diki Suaves, beginning the reverse sweep. Hella will start by being banned out. AFBS forwent their first ban. Wolverine protected for the first time in this series. The Hulk also getting protected. Do we see the ban on the Iron Man? Or the Magic, perhaps? But Spiverson likes it too. Where do you direct your fury? Iron Man is gone. Payload is targeted. They were prepared, though. Look at that. Already hovering the Namor. Nash was potentially expecting the ban as well. No, they were doing the ban. That's why they were expecting the ban onto the Magic. They are currently hovering Storm. There we go, I was about to say. Considering you saved Wolverine, it would be wild if you defended Wolverine and then picked Storm in Season 0. Hello has now the option of Star-Lord and the Namor, swapping back and forth between the two while they decide. It's going to lock in on the Namor for this first step. AFBS not showing too much right now, but Urameshi looking to bring out the Thorn. AFBS, the pressure is on them now. They have to be the ones to bring this back. Spiverson, with no magic in play, is going to try for the Psylocke. Blade Fan, Winter Soldier is going to be the name of the game. Try and break the front line that way by separating people out here. Sia-chan on the Mantis, Zerk on the Lunar Snow, Abduck, no surprise here, going to be on the Doctor Strange.
From Dr. Doom?
Doom is no threat to Asgard,
But this is AFBS's last chance. Map number 3, 3 rounds. 2 out of 3, and they're still in it. 1 or 0 out of 3, and AFBS will be heading down, eliminated from Season 0, and will have to await for Season 1 to try again. Here in the Marvel Rivals Championship console for North America. Blade Fan already sent out a Tainted Shock. Group Wall, picking off half of it. Finds the pull onto Wolverine, though. Very risky. Feral Leap has to be used. Worked out in their favor. Not finding the pickup, but definitely scaring off the Wolverine. Finds them again! Trying to get onto them. Doesn't have the Soldier's Fist to keep him locked down at this stage, but Nash is having an absolutely rough time right now. Just being bullied constantly by Blade Fan. Using Rotterdam to take out... Sorry, Rosterdam, I believe that weapon is called. Vanderkirk Finds Groot, that's a good target. Soldier's Fist to isolate them, sends them onto the jump pad though. Team's not able to once again drop enough damage to get the finishing blow, and this seems to be the theme right now. AFBS doing so much damage, but they can't finish anyone off. Bladefan is doing huge work for their team. Abduck and Urameshi already down. They have no front line, and now they're being chased down. Wolverine diving forward. Bionic Hook onto the Strange to try and get at least one, but Nash gets the final hit. Grabbing Spiverson on the way out. Urameshi moving off the Thorn onto the Magneto. All in on defense right now.
More than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Nash waiting in position, seeing if they can catch anyone, if they can trap someone. Tries to get onto Strange. Won't get the trap, but will get the damage. Dance of the Butterflies coming in from Spiverson to try and turn this round, but Fate of Both Worlds is shutting it down, allowing Nash full freedom to dive forward with all the sustain in the world. Finds Magneto. They get isolated, pulled in. Soldier's Fist, but Payload with the Horn of Proteus finds the triple, and that's going to be Diki Suaves already on 84%. AFBS sent back to spawn, but they do have a portal, choosing not to use it, but that's going to be cutting it really close then. They're running it through the low ground. Sia-chan and Spiverson are going to touch the point. Nice sneak.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a
So now it's the fight over the overtime. To try and take this, the overtime begins to tick down. Nash looking to zone off anyone who tries to step onto the point. There's the Strange as the target, but Strange has the Cloak of Levitation to try and get out. No one else is touching, and using the Eye of Agamotto at the same time, meaning that that's now no longer available for point number 2. A disaster across the board for AFBS. Abduck's ultimate percentage sitting at 0, using the ult right at the end there, believing they'd come down in time, believing someone else would touch the point, but no one was in range.
30 seconds before you attack.
And AFBS, their hopes are beginning to slip away. Diki Suaves, though, they are on the edge of ascendancy to make their way through to that lower bracket final, into the podium, to try and earn their chance at the grand final.
The battle starts in 5.
Blade Fan brings out the Wolverine. If you can't beat them, join them.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Try and set themselves up. Urameshi on the Magneto. Wolverine immediately flies past. Final stand. Already finding Magneto. Trying to focus through the shields. Huge damage output. The healing output is good, though. Not able to finish them off. Nash forced to back out. Wrap around. Another Feral Leap. And this time, second time's the charm, able to take them out. Dropped low, but still holding the line. Lopez Toashi takes out Abduck. It's a 2-for-0 right now. Lopez is dropped low, but tanking through. Spiverson and Blade Fan get a double, taking out the front line. Feral Leap does not land, forced to back out. It's 2-for-2 as Payload is trying to hold the line as there is an intense battle at the bottom of the stairs. They're just on the point, just with their squid friends. Trying to hold, but they're starting to get dove there. Here comes the Daz and the Butterfly, and Payload going into the air to get out of danger. Focus down Mag Cannon. Trying to knock them back. Take them out of the main line of fire there. Joseph G from above. Eye of Agamotto gets the front line, gets the back line, and chases them down. That is an absolute massacre. Diki Suaves pushing all the way through. Blade Fan taken out by Payload. But AFBS, they did get some percentage. There is hope for them here. But Diki Suaves still holding the lead, 27 to 21%. Payload, shots down range. Keeping the pressure up. Straggling Prison is good. Horn of Proteus on top. Spiverson and Blade Fan are taken out. And with that, the backline is all that's left. All they have left are Vanguards and Strategists. They do not have any duelists at all. Getting cleaned out, getting pushed back, and AFBS just don't have the tools right now. They've got to wait for the respawns. But while all that's happening, Diki Suaves get another several percent, already up to 66%. 2/3 of the way towards victory. Nash retreating back into the regeneration domain as the Eternal Bond tries to give AFBS the opportunity to step up the space to move on in. Jokerlol with the fate of both worlds from the clone. Final stand! Nash countered by the side of Blade Fan, but Blade Fan's dropped down, picked off Ayamagamoto for the last chance to try and take this down. Diki Suaves are still holding out. And that is going to be it in a solid, convincing game number 3. Diki Suaves take control, lock in, and will be moving on to the lower bracket finals.
Another epic victory. Big win.
Incredible work. Josen G, 3 games, 3 wins, 3 MVPs. 16 eliminations, 11 of which were final hits, most in the game, and by almost double. 9k damage, a little bit less than the 10k that we see from Payload. Damage blocked, Abduck, blocking 3k more than Lopez Toashi, but getting taken out 5 more times. Most damage blocked, though, going over to Lopez Toashi. I think I said Lopez Toashi, more than Josen G. Lopez Toashi did tank the most with 18k. Only getting taken out once as well. So much sustain, so much sticking power. Jokerlol and Venkum, 0 elimination games. Holding on in that last series. Venkum even getting 2 eliminations of their own. 11k healing and 16k healing for Venkum. Bringing it back. And with that, we say a fond farewell to AFBS as they will be eliminated. Forced to await for Season 1 to roll around, where they will get their chance at a rematch to bring themselves back in. To try and fight their way through the brackets once again. Whereas Diki Suaves, they will be heading to the lower bracket final, where they will be playing against the loser of tomorrow's game, the upper bracket final. Sweeteners versus In and Out. Loser will go down to play against Diki Suaves. Winner will be awaiting for the winner of that match in the grand final. Diki Suaves are now 1 match away from getting into that top 2, already guaranteeing themselves top 3. So tune back in tomorrow. Make sure you ring that notification bell and subscribe. Help me get to that 5,000 subscriber target that I'm trying to hit before the beginning of Season 1. And tune back in to see who will be facing Diki Suaves. Will it be Sweeteners or will it be In and Out? Make sure you subscribe to find out. For now, though, I am Tetcher. You can find the replay codes to these games if you want to go see them yourself in the description below. You can also find links to all my socials in the description below. So come in and say hello on all of those. I believe that my DMs are open across the board, so you can just pop in and just say hello, say hi. More than welcome to do so. That is an option. I also have a business email in there. If anyone wants to reach out, I am definitely open to sponsor suggestions, and I am also open to contacts from NetEase. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I'm just not going to stop making YouTube videos just because I'm commentating on the mainstream, because the mainstream casts are mostly on weekends, meaning that I'd be able to do all these casts during the weekdays. Breaks? What breaks? I am Tetcher. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.